Oh, hold on. I got some noise. Oh shit! Oh, hello, 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 hello. That is what you call a brain fart, and something that you get to look forward to in your when you get older. There, Big E.
Nice intro. You nailed it.
Oh yeah, I'm such a professional. So, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
I see that you are using the Harry Potter thing that I had.
Yes.
I am going to put the one that I showed you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'll put that up into the Dropbox so you can use that too. Big E.
Okay.
Oh man. So how everything is going fine with you, right?
So far it's windy out there. Very.
Hey, well, at least it stopped raining. It's supposed to start. I think it's supposed to rain again tomorrow.
That's what I heard also.
Yeah, but you know, it it is what it is. I would say that it will clean my car off, but the rain has been a bit dirty, so I actually made my car dirtier. But that's neither here nor there. All right. So we're gonna talk about like some game develop like is the continuation of all the game stuff we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. It's like everything is going crazy. This year so far is kind of out there, you know. It's not as bad as I guess as I thought it was gonna be, but it's just been really weird, you know.
Okay.
Nah, dude. It has rained more like what in the first 3 months than what in
Like the
like all
last 5 years.
right then like all of 20. I know for 2022 it's rained more than that. It's like every 2 weeks, and like then you've been 200 days with no rain, and then now it's like every 2 weeks it rains.
Yeah,
So crazy,
that's true. It is pretty crazy.
but it's normal for most places. So what we're gonna do is get into our first topic, though. Next level. Okay. Our first topic of the day is a bunch of game developers were screaming in a public park to protest the industry. It feels hard to be here and pretend like everything is fine.
Oh my.
Oh, okay. So it would. Okay. Maybe this is the video. Oh no, this is the picture. I was like, is they gonna actually show me the video? What the hell, the PC gamer? I specifically went to this because, friggin' hey, dude.
Ah, yes. 2024.
Oh my god, dude. Okay. What the? Oh, and it's a commercial. Awesome.
Nice.
Hey, bro.
Uh,
So, oh yeah, this is what I've been using though. Copilot to make all this new stuff.
mhm. The AI.
Yeah, yeah. It is basically, uh, right. One of the videos I posted from okay, yeah. Can we get to the actual? Yeah, okay. All right. All right, can you hear it?
I can hear it.
Okay.
30 seconds.
You gotta do it. Organized to do this. and they're talking for themselves.
Mm.
Really, commercial at the end and the beginning. Okay, go away.
Burn
Okay,
him at the
the
stake.
dude. All right. So developers of the GDC gathered today to express their feelings about the state of the game industry and what, and under circumstances, is really only reasonably the only reasonable way to react. These are grown people who have jobs that are being paid, like they're being paid to do this, and they pay taxes. And they felt that their only reasonable way to react to what's going on is to stand out in a field and scream about it. The game industry
Jeez.
is falling. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Awesome. The game industry is falling apart around us, and we're all flocking to San Francisco for a week to pretend that like this is fine. Let's take a minute where we're all stop pretending and express just how it feels to be a game developer in 2024. Join us for a collective moment of catharsis, camaraderie, and caterwauling. Let's descend upon Yerba Buena. Yerba Buena, and when the clock strikes noon, have ourselves a big old GD scream. The Public Scream, organized by former Epic Games producer Carol Shaw and the Fortnite Festival designer Scott Siegel, took place at 12 It actually sounds like a raw expression of outrage over the industry that has laid off thousands of developers over the past year, throwing countless lives into turmoil in pursuit of shareholder value. Speaking at the event, said it when you have this many people coming together in the gaming industry, going to all these events, having all the people attend whatever. All right. First off, tell me how you feel about this.
Seems like it's a pretty big issue. I didn't realize what's going on in the video game industry.
Well, there's another article that we're going to look at in a second, but right.
So these layoffs are not only pertinent to these certain companies and developers. It's like
Yeah.
the industry.
The industry as a whole has been laying
Oh,
off a lot of people, right?
oh,
No, but this ties into a lot of stuff because one, they don't ever bring up, like, they say developers, but that don't necessarily mean that it's the actual people who have anything to do with making the games. A lot of these people are the DEI stuff. All this, you got high, and you notice all the people walking around, they have purple hair and they all look like, suburban little white kids who got into this industry for whatever reason, kind of thing.
for whatever
And
reason.
no, I mean that's like,
Uh,
did you see any Indians or anything?
no, I didn't.
No, right. No, it's all one group of people who think that yelling in a field is going to do anything, but
Right.
but beyond making you look goofy as hell, right? But this ties into, remember I told you about Sora and the
Yeah.
AI stuff and all of this crap, right?
Hmm.
And then I was listening to Razor Fist, and he was talking about BattleTech. So you got BattleTech, and then you got like Hell Divers, right? So BattleTech has been flooded with all these folks who want to put certain flags on everything and want to kick everybody out of their safe space, the safe space that they just started doing in a thing that has been around for 30 years. So they slid in on the back end and then they want to boot everybody out so that they can feel safe.
Just gonna
Right.
slide in there real quick, huh?
Right. And you look at that, you look at these people, and then we're gonna get into like the next article, but the and you got the Sweet Baby Inc. and you got all these folks. And the one thing that none of these people ever talk about is you are selling a product to people. You have to make a product that the people want to buy. If
That
you don't make a product,
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, if you don't make a product that the people want to buy, they don't buy it. And when enough people don't buy it, you get fired. This has
Yeah, that's right.
now. Um, what I can give them is this used to be like, I'm a lot older than you. So I remember when I've been here for the entirety of the video game life cycle, from Pong all the way up to where we're at now. Right.
Right.
And I remember when Doom came on a floppy disk. It's like you would go to like a comic book shop or something like that, and on the wall would be like a bunch of plastic Ziploc bags with floppy disks in them. Yeah. And you would give the guy at the comic book shop or wherever you went into, or hobby shop or whatever it was, like $5, and you would get the first level of Doom. Castle Wolfenstein, or Epic's first game was Jazz the Jackrabbit. It was like a little platformer thing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
It would sell you the first level. And it had to work, one, because I'm not gonna give you more money for the rest of the game if the first level sucks. All right.
True. Yeah.
No bugs, no weird nothing. It's just gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. All right. Because you have to get me to want to purchase the rest of the game. You made a little bit of money, but you want to make $25 instead of the $5, right? So I'm going to give you 20 to 15 to 20 more dollars, right? Somewhere along the line, when it got bigger and bigger. And remember, I used to tell you about how when they added the colors and stuff, and it went from monochrome to 4 colors to 16 colors and 32, and so on and so forth, right? So, but it was still like a little niche thing. Like nobody paid attention to it. It was something that nerds did or children. And then these games started making a lot of money. And this is where they messed up at. They let the corporation dudes into the door. And when that happened, yes, they had a bump where you made a lot of money. It was a lot of money. Like the dude, like Ed, was driving around in Corvettes and Ferraris and all kind of crap. Yeah, you went from selling your game for like $5 or $20 to driving a freaking Ferrari because you did that, and then you created the first like shooter, no, Doom was the first like first person shooter, but then I can't remember the name of the thing, Quake. So no, they came out with Quake, and then like that was the first like competition, like when you can go at person on person kind of thing, perfect PvP. All right. So that more and more popular. So I can feel them a little bit when it comes to being upset about the layoffs because yeah, it's corporations. Corporations are gonna corporation, you know.
That's to make the company survive.
Right. But so they also forgot that you are selling a product and you have an actual customer base, right? So that's where it's screwed up on the corporate side. Whereas like they're trying to they started treating games like selling cars. It was like, we got to sell this many units in this quarter and it for bonuses, and then stock price goes up and all this other crap. I'm like, no, you're trying to sell this thing that has a story to it, that has all these elements that you need to fully finish.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like they forgot that. So like currently what they're trying to push right now is games as a service, live service thing, right? Where you sell me this thing and then you can nitpick and pick and get little bits of money over a long period of time. $2 here, $3 here. Just yeah. Right now we got this thing where Dragon's Dogma, a game that I was looking forward to, comes out and it's filled up with microtransactions.
Oh, that's a turnoff.
Yeah. And like it's the you could, it's some customer like custom types costume shit like that, and it's other stuff. One of the big ones is you cannot redo your character for the first 2 hours of the game unless you give them $2.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow.
So
Talk about a paywall.
right, I mean, like, if you like the character that you created, that's fine, right? But you also got to remember that Steam has a policy that if you buy a game and you play it for 2 hours, like under 2 hours, you can return it for to get your refund.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's like really,
Is that a new thing? I haven't played a Steam game in a while, but
no. That's been a thing for a while.
that's
So
been a
like
thing. I did not know that.
yeah. So like when Cyberpunk, they had a bunch of people returning it because they played it and were like, dude, this is crap, and
Right.
you can figure that out fairly quickly. But if you make your game so that in a certain way, and in order to prevent you from returning it, it's kind of like sketchy, and that's kind of a corporate thing to do, not necessarily a gamer thing.
Yeah.
So it's like I rem. It sucks for me because I remember how things used to be.
But why are these layoffs happening or like en masse?
It's just like everything else. It is one, they're not making as much money because you're selling
Oh,
crap products.
yeah.
Two, they win like because of it, and this is like a lot of these people are DEI kind of folks.
Oh, okay.
So you hired a lot of people because of the because of the COVID stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then you throw in the ESG stuff into that, so you got all this extra. Dude, like Elon Musk kind of put all this stuff in motion when he bought Twitter and fired 80% of the staff. Yeah. Huh. Because most of the people who there was, remember, like those people who was going around and like, this is what I do at Twitter all day. And like they would eating salads and freaking doing yoga and all this other stuff. And then they go to a meeting and then they go sit on the roof and then they go to another meeting. And it's like what the hell, dude?
I think
Like,
yeah, I remember that.
right. And you realize this person is making $100,000 a year to do basically nothing. So
Yeah,
when
that's a
he got rid
problem.
of when he got rid of the fluff and there was some pushback, but it wasn't that much pushback. So all the other companies were like, you mean we can get rid of these people? Like, all right, so we're not gonna do it now. What we're gonna do it is like a year from now. And yeah, that's kind of is what's happening, right?
I see. Yeah.
So I mean, it's also the thing, like I was saying, like with technology coming in. It's like I sat there like just like the little thing, logos and whatnot that I've been making. It's not my final thing, but it'll when I eventually get someone to draw it, it's a pretty good idea. Like trying testing out different types of stuff. So it's good for that. But you gotta remember that used to be somebody's job. It's like,
Yeah.
no, yeah, think about it. In the past, if I wanted what I just did in the last couple of days, I would go find someone who can draw, and I'll say I like this, and I want this, and I want that, and then I want you to give me some ideas, and that person would sit back and draw these characters like this, characters like that, yada 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 yada. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, you can get like it's not perfect, all right, but now you can get a computer to just run through a bunch of different scenarios. So it's like, and I show you the prompt, and the prompts are like get to the point where it's ridiculous, but it'll spit out it'll spit out for every 20 or so, it'll spit out something when you go, huh, okay, I kind of like that. And then you go 20 more, crap, weird. It has 3 arms. Why does it have 3 arms? Kind of thing. And then oh, okay, I like that one. And then do crap. All right, his head's on backwards. Why is his knee bending like this? Why the hell is like one of the pictures? It had like a guy scoring a touchdown, missing a tackle kind of thing, and for some reason, the computer decided to combine a bird, like a pigeon, and a linebacker. So it was a linebacker with bird wings.
Oh my gosh.
Right, but that's now. So it's already improved from last year. What do you think next year is going to be like?
Yeah, more improvement.
Right. So therefore, you go, okay, just like I was telling you about the Tyler Perry thing. And Tyler Perry was like, yeah, I don't have to spend $800 million to do all this stuff. I can, yeah. So all right, let's this other article that kind of is in line with this is like work. All right, working overtime at AAA games with giant budgets is the only way to succeed. Then maybe the industry deserves to die, says RPG veteran David Gator is there is another way to be. It's like, yeah, how it used to be, right? It's like what I was describing to you. When you had a bunch of people who love games doing this stuff. I remember. You remember when I was telling you about being a games tester?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Is and I was telling Ricky about this during crunch time. Now, my job was deep into the valley, but I lived in Inglewood, right around Sophie Stadium.
Oh,
I lived
okay.
like maybe 5 minutes away from Sophie Stadium,
Oh,
right? So every day I would get in my car, drive from there all the way into the valley, go to work.
gosh.
Well, you got to work, dude.
Right,
So,
right.
but crunch time rolls around. I am leaving my house when it's dark, and I am coming back home when it's dark to go to sleep for 6 7 hours to get back up again to drive back out there because the game was going gold. And when the game is going gold, it means this is when the final. It's not the final version of it, but it's the final version of the game that they're gonna put on a disc. All right.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh. Okay.
Right. So soon as so that's called going gold. So when they give it to Microsoft, they give it to Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo, and they have PC copies, right? Like Steam or whatever. So that is you got to find all the bugs, and at that point, so before you were finding bugs, for various reasons or whatever. But at this point now, you have to find game breaking bugs, and it could be hard because the game is pretty much finished for the most part. So it operates, all the colors and all that stuff are there. And then now you into all right, if I hit the start menu and I hit 3 buttons at the same time, does it like nothing, does
Just
anything
freak
weird
out.
happen?
Yeah.
Right. So, and they're not going to fix any non game breaking bugs. Right. So that's what used to annoy the crap out of me when you like a game comes out and you go somebody online like, oh, I find this thing and how come no? I'm like, dude, we did. They didn't fix it.
Oh, yeah. If
Yeah.
it
So
doesn't break the game, as you said.
right.
Yeah.
So that's what I said. I can understand how this works because it's a pain in the ass. It's like seriously, the overtime shit is ridiculous, and you're not really getting paid that much. They have you on a contract, so you're not. It's not like you're guaranteed a job. A lot of the times, it is if they like you, if the guy who's in charge of uh, who works there likes you, yeah, they'll bring you back. If they don't, then they won't. And because you're not technically fired, they just don't renew your contract.
Oh, okay.
Right. So it's like
What game was that? Shalak?
it was Borderlands. I did Borderlands. I did
No.
Kobe NBA 2K, and this was when they added the VC. So this was a long time. This was a long time
Oh,
ago.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. They had a baseball game. I did Dora the Explorer, which was fun.
That sounds great.
Dude, I had to. All right, so I worked in quality control, so I had to play Dora the Explorer on the Wii for like over and over again, making sure that every language was the proper language. So that through the entire game, if I set it for French, they spoke French for the entire game.
Their game, right, and the menus and everything.
Right. Okay. And hold on. So in that game, it is basically Dora talking, right? And me with the Wiimote going for 8 hours.
Oh my gosh.
So again, from the beginning to the end, I was like, okay,
Uh,
French. Okay, now it is Italian.
mhm.
Okay, that's fine. And do that over and over and over again. And we had to check to make sure the like every yeah, it was a pain. So it was not fun. And then we would get like a new crop in, and we all these freaking 17, 18-year-olds like, oh, I want to play. I'm like, all right. So you sitting on your butt for 8 hours to the point where I got like my tailbone. If I sit too long in a chair that's not like right, my
Ergonomic.
my tailbone will start hurting.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it actually damaged my tailbone.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, it's just one of these weird ass like things. But so what else this dude has to say before the way the game industry and game developers are heading right now, the type of existence they have, it doesn't have to be this way. There is another way to be. I just want them to all finally get unionized and get treated fairly. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Uh, these people seem to think that getting unionized is gonna actually help them. They tried unionizing at what IGN, and a bunch of them got laid off. If they aren't willing to hire you at full, like a lot of people at full-time rates, at full-time rates, then they don't care about. They'll just find somebody else who doesn't understand how the game industry works.
yeah, that's true. Huh?
Yeah, so I don't know why they keep thinking that unionizing is going to do anything. The problem with all of this stuff is what they need to do is either start your own company, keep it small. When you make a game that works, make a product that people want to give you money for, and when you do, and you start making money, and when EA or all these big corporations come a calling and want to give you a bunch of money, you look them in the face and you go, fuck off. That's what you do. So now when you make your game, you don't make these ridiculous budgets where you like. I remember I told you about when I told you guys about how much freaking Spider-Man 2 cost, and you looking like how in the hell did you spend
Right.
200? It's like, dude, it's insane. It's a fear that exists that if we don't have everybody working overtime, we don't make AAA games that have us $200 million budgets and focus is on photorealistic graphics and 1,000-hour play times. We need to pack it all in and work everyone to death making it, and that's the only way to make games. Most popular games are right now Power World and Helldivers. Small studios,
Like more
game
independent style kind of games.
Yep, and they're making a killing because it's a
Right.
fun game. Both of them are fun games, and you don't need photorealistic because we're at the point where it just you can't even really tell like this. It's just shiny, but if the gameplay sucks, like I don't get that. And then you get bad word of mouth. Somebody buys it on the first day, and they play it a little bit like one of these YouTube dudes, and they play it for an hour or whatever, and they start crapping on it because yeah, it's shiny, but the gameplay sucks.
People are not gonna buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hold on. Laren studio boss Finn Vinky called out corporate greed for fucking this whole thing up for so long. They're corporations. That's what corporations do. Why are you shocked by this? They do that in everything. They find the cheapest because they need to make the most. That's how the corporate structure works. They need to make the most money and spend the least amount of money. It's in every industry.
Simple economics.
Simple. So again, startups, you if you have the knowledge, technology to the point now where you don't need as much as you used to need to make any of this stuff work. Bet on yourself. Make a small team. Make a reasonable price game that has reasonable expectations. Start there. And again, when EA shows up, tell them to fuck off. Dude, so far it's just you hear this whining, you got the people standing out in the field screaming and hollering and shit. It's like, bro, it's like I don't know what to tell you, man. You're shocked that a corporation is corporation. And you think like unionizing is gonna actually help anything. It's not. Not really. Cause what? The car manufacturers union, they struck. They got the huge raises. They laid off a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Same thing, UPS. Did the same
Right.
exact same shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna help you in the end because it's this beast. This it destroys stuff. Yeah, yeah. Corporations are designed to do that. Because the guy who's in charge, he don't give a crap. He don't care about games. He didn't go to school for that. So he don't give a shit. He's not a gamer.
That's a good point.
Yeah. Reggie
Yeah.
Fils-Aimé. He's the guy who used to run Nintendo. He used to be
Nintendo.
on stage.
Yeah.
Right. He freaking he used to work at Papa John's or something. No, some pizza place. That's what he used to work at. So he went from selling pizzas, or he's the pizzas, or it was the
Pizza Hut, I think.
yeah. So he went from selling freaking pizzas to selling Nintendo games. It's a product to him.
Right.
So he's like, all right, I have to be personable to get you to like me so that you'll like my product. I could sit up here and pretend that I play games. Yeah, I mean, that's what they do, man. And it's like, why are you shocked? But okay. Let's see. We're working 4 days a week right now. It's summer, fall. You just have to make a schedule that's realistic, that actually doesn't lie to the people that you're reporting to above or your own team. You work with the time you have. You make a game that makes the most out of the time you have, and then the result is that you have employees who love what they do and don't feel like they're just a resource to be tapped. Strategy seems to be work for Summer Fall's first project, a musical take on RPGs called Stray Guys, despite being steamrolled a bit by the release of Baldur's Gate 3, even after moving its launch date to avoid the fate. More visual, blah, blah, blah. All right. Did it actually sell anything?
Exactly.
Okay, I don't see anything about if it actually sold or anything. So I don't know anything about this. Maybe it did. Okay. Stray Guys review. See what game we talking about. Visual novel, stage musicals. That doesn't sound like anything most people would want to play. So I don't know. Maybe it sold a lot. Maybe it didn't. But you need to say that in your thing. Because at the end of the day, you're selling a product. All right. You are selling a product to people. Even if you are a small developer, then you don't have to sell as many products to people. But you know,
But in the end, you have to make money.
yeah, it's like you can. I don't know. It's like a lot of these people don't actually understand that.
Like making a product that people would actually like.
Yeah, which is
What a
What you mean?
concept.
Right, but they don't seem to think that. It's like it's emotions. Is everyone's emotional, and they think that like they under some impression that life owes them something, and you should be able to like it. I don't know. It's like, I don't understand these people. So it's like I don't. Do you?
Not no.
It's like, would you ever think to complain about your job by going out into the parking lot and just yelling?
No.
Yeah, me neither. So I I don't understand these people, but I
I
don't
think it's
know.
kind of like, that the world is against me kind of thing.
Yeah,
And they have like, they feel I don't know if entitled is the word, but
I think it is entitled. It's like a weird thing. All right, well, that's enough of that. We've been talking about that for like 30 minutes now. So we're going to talk about some two things that were actually interesting. All righty. First thing we're going to talk about is there's actually two trailers.
oh,
All right. So the
wow.
first one, yeah. So the
I'll be
first one,
excited for this.
yeah. So the House of Dragon season 2. This is the green trailer.
Okay.
For the one true King Aegon!
Only weeks ago, my lord husband was alive, and the realm was at peace. On his deathbed, he knew the realm would never accept a queen. Rhaenyra's supporters will believe what they wish, but Viserys wanted Aegon to succeed him.
They wish now not for the good of the realm, but for the satisfaction of vengeance.
Well, you did eat his son, her son, so
Back 100 times over.
I'm just saying.
I'm as fearsome as any of them.
You have no idea the sacrifices that were made to put you on that throne.
My uncle is a challenge I welcome. If he dares face me.
We will prevail and bring forth peace. But you must accept that the path to victory now is one of violence.
Good. To war, then.
All my life, I've endeavored to serve both my house and the realm, and somehow none of it matters.
Hold to your courage! For the one true King Aegon!
Nice.
All right. Okay. All right. Before we get into the other one, so all right. So before we get into the other one, so are you green or black?
Black.
Black?
Yeah.
Green. Like that dad didn't want any of his crap.
Exactly.
He said on multiple occasions, she is going to be queen. And you just ignored all that stuff because
Exactly.
because your stupid dad is too busy scheming and stuff. And like they're all about revenge. You ate her damn child. Like what the hell, dude? You ate one of her children. Like, bro, I was like, I'll be a little bit pissed about that. I'm just saying.
Just.
All right, so now this is the black trailer. Yeah,
Up on the run?
yeah. Let's we get past the commercial first.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Oh, probably should have.
Hey,
Yeah, let's start that again.
We fight for our queen!
The black trailer.
My father chose me, his
Yes.
firstborn child, to succeed him. He held to his decision until death. And yet, Alison's son sits my throne. I mean to fight this war and win it.
The realm will soon tear itself apart. If men do not remember the oath sworn to King Viserys and to his rightful heir.
The High Towers are marching. You must crush this beast at its head.
Our terms are very simple. Renounce the false king and bend the knee to the king, or your house burns.
When the desire to kill and burn takes hold and reason is forgotten, you will not even remember what began the war in the first place.
We fight for our queen!
Feel what I've begun.
ooh.
Ooh my. All right. So are you excited for this particular season?
I am. I love the first season a lot.
Okay. So we will be discussing this when it comes out in June. You know what it kind of reminds me of is how you get this thing in your head where you think you're right regardless to whatever evidence there is, you know?
Right.
It's
Like you've convinced yourself that whatever you
Right.
believe in is so absolutely correct.
right.
Yeah.
That's what the green side strikes me as.
Yeah.
It's like we gotta do something about all this intrigue, you know. And I remember watching the first season. I'm like, when the father, like, one, you sick your teenage daughter on your friend, so he knocked her up, and then you just plotting and scheming. It's like, bro, you're the bad guy. It's like you keep talking about everybody else. I'm like, no, it's you. You the one who's doing all this. And then you sitting there smug and shit. It's like, like, asshole. So, all right. So we
I
both
still
looking
think
forward to that.
the actor for Viserys,
Mm-hmm.
really good job
Yeah.
the first season.
All righty.
He
So
aged gracefully. Well, not really, but you know,
he kind of fell apart.
literally.
Yeah.
Uh,
All righty. So, all right. So we'll look. Maybe we can have something in the background. Turn the volume off while we discuss this and see. There a no loop. Okay. So we're going to discuss something else that was very pleasant. So you said you watched 4 out of 5. Which one did you miss?
no, I watched 4 today. I watched 1 yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll get into episode 5. But, like, what do you think of the first 4?
That was good. Yeah, I know it's based off of like a novel, so
Mhm.
well, I obviously never read the novel or the TV series that came for that
When I
also.
when I
But
was a kid, yeah.
yeah, so I don't have really anything to base it off of except for
Mhm.
what this is. But I'm like entertained.
Yeah, it's it's schemes upon schemes upon schemes.
But
And
yeah, right.
it's like you never know what, especially like the I'm gonna butcher his name, so I'm not even gonna try it. No, the T guy. Hey,
Toranaga.
there you go. Yeah, dude. No, my memory's crap. You know that. I can't remember anything. So it just. Did you enjoy the fact that both sides between the the Japanese and the Englishmen and the Portuguese all calling each other savages
Yeah,
and
barbarians.
barbarians?
Yes.
Well, I mean, like, look, from their point of view, it's like it. You have to factor in the fact that unlike now, where we have access to other people's cultures through TV and all that other stuff, they did not have anything. So all this stuff is a culture shock of different ways that people do stuff. And it's like, look at me like, why the hell do you do that like that? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're a super honor bound society, and then you see a bunch of people, even though you kind of do all the same scheming and shit, you just coach it differently in your culture and you pretend to yourself that you're not just like the other ones from
Right.
So like,
Oh, Siobhan, I'm getting a phone call. Let me answer
okay.
this.
All right.
You could continue.
All right. So it's like it's really crazy how all right. It's really crazy how I don't know how to say this. It's a really good insight into Japanese culture and why they wound up not necessarily suffering the same fate as other cultures that had to deal with the European trading partners. And like Japan did, they pretty much the same thing that the Chinese did is section them off into one little corner of their kingdom while giving them some access, but not a lot, not a whole lot, if I'm understanding my history correctly. And it's like, if you look throughout like South America, like they're basically speaking European, like all of us are speaking European languages because of the influence of the various European cultures and especially the Americas. But like if you look through like Asia, they had the potential to have had that happen to them. And in some cases that it did, you know, like the Philippines, where everybody has Spanish last names, but they didn't really do that. And I think it has a lot to do with how their society was structured. And I think that also plays into the decisions that Japan makes nowadays in terms of the amount of people that they let into their country. So, but overall, I really enjoyed the you know what? I am like while he's on the phone, I do have a hunkering to checking out the old trailer. So let's try 1984, I think. Yeah, 1984 trailer. Oh, 1980. So while he's doing that, I'm going to check this out. Okay. Because I have I remember this as a kid, but it's been a while. All right.
This is Shogun, the staggering saga of feudal Japan. The story of ruling warlords battling for ultimate supremacy. They are challenged by a stranger from across the seas, John Blackthorne, the one man with the power.
Oh, what sweet hell is this?
This is the six-part presentation starring Richard Chamberlain and Toshiro Mifune. The epic tale of power, passion, beauty, and tragedy. That is Shogun.
That felt really 80s.
1980, baby.
1980. Okay.
Oh.
Oh wow, so that's the show that it was that's the show that was based off the novel, or like the first
Yeah,
adaptation of it. Okay.
yeah. There's hold on. This is actually more to the trailer.
For all time.
Okay.
It didn't seem too campy.
Oh no.
Shogun, James
Alright, so
Clavell's
this is
#1 international
trailer
bestseller. Shogun,
Ooh,
the
nice graphics.
masterpiece.
Dude, it was like
The
1980,
unforgettable
all
epic
right?
of two warlords battling with
Don't be
destiny,
talking
creating
crap,
a
man.
civilization.
I know.
The honor and the horror, the power,
Oh shit.
passion, the beauty, and the tragedy. Richard Chamberlain, Toshiro Mifune, a 6-part epic presentation that is Shogun.
No, this was destination television back in the 80s, man. No, I'm serious.
You know, that's when I think about it, that's actually like 44 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at that, I'm actually pretty amazed. You know how they're able to shoot something like that back then
Uh-huh.
and make it
Oh my god.
make
You
it
make it sound
seem
like it's the 1930s,
somewhat
man.
believable.
Like they had horses too, and like I didn't know they had this fancy thing called cameras.
Was that real water in that trailer?
Anyway, all right. But what I was saying was the cool thing about this, and it's like it's been a while since I've actually seen the old one, right? But it was a long time ago,
Oh, yeah.
as you know.
The whole
But
thing.
mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
No, it came, dude. We had like 3 channels, so
Oh, yeah. That was one of the 3.
right. So like, dude, it wasn't like it was a lot of stuff that you could watch. So, but anyway, what I was saying before is what's interesting about this is, well, there's many interesting parts. One of which is the fact that Portugal was a powerhouse in that time period. They have zero effect on how anything is run in the world today. The only thing I know about Portugal is that the Brazilians speak Portuguese. That's about it.
That's true, huh?
But they was a world power, as you can see how they were dividing up the world, and it's like, oh, and just deciding these cultures and countries that they're going to, and so that they can bless them with their culture, not even giving a crap about how the culture already was, how they were getting along, didn't really care, none of that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that was that. I thought that was interesting, and I like the fact that they didn't pull any punches when it comes to these various cultures, right? It's
Good
like,
point.
you know, it's like when they're looking at like the guy, the white dude, and they're shocked that he doesn't bathe every day.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you have no idea how cold England is. Right?
Yeah. It's not exactly like they had hot water back then.
Right. So it's like you're talking to a guy who one is used to being on a ship, because that's what he's like. He let you know that I'm a sailor, and I Horizon and all this other stuff. There's not a lot of water on ships. You can't really, if you bathe yourself in seawater, you're just covering yourself with salt.
Yeah. Right.
So itchy, like, so it's not like, so there's reasons for why his culture is like that, but they don't, it's like they don't really understand that, because again, since it's the 1600s, that they don't have access to what we have access. So it's just interesting how our mindset is different but the same nowadays.
Oh yeah, I know. You know what I like about the show? How they're able to, really contrast the such a merit society
Mm-hmm.
in Japan, and then how he's able, to contrast it with his own kind of like thinking and his beliefs, or just the way the British culture is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
and
English culture.
yeah, it's like they have issues between, like, also all the Europeans have their own issues, which they are dragging into Japan, but
Mm-hmm.
Japan has its own issues as well. So it's like the thing that like between each episode, you know, it's like from him yelling at them in the first episode, it's like you covered in shit and piss. You weigh like like 90 pounds right now. Yet you're calling this dude who, and you probably smell like it ain't nothing in this world, and you yelling at this guy like he's a barbarian.
All right.
And he's like looking at you like what? Like what? It's like what are you talking about? So, but what I was saying while you was on the phone was, it is interesting how the between the East and the West and like the Americas and the East, like the Asian countries, and how both of them were visited by these European powerhouses.
Europeans, yeah.
And the Americans all speak European languages. But in Asia, they don't.
That's true.
So it's like their cultures were around. Well, I can't really say that because like the Mayans and all that stuff, their cultures are around a long time as well. So it's interesting culturally how each one were able to, like, how they handled that.
It's different, huh?
Yeah, it's like I think the Chinese did pretty much the same thing that the Japanese did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like okay, we're gonna trade with you, but you're gonna stay on this one little chunk right here, and you can't go nowhere inside. No,
It is interesting, yeah. And they both, well, is it because you think they, well, going back to like history, you think because like they stayed as a society longer, or it's just the culture, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I think both China and they have a very strict like culture.
Yeah.
Very strict rules.
Based in like Confucianism, I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yeah,
In terms of honor, right? And then,
Yeah.
probably honor and ancestor worship and all that stuff.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but they also show like the flaws from that. It's like, well,
Yeah.
and it's like, and like the guy he's looking at this from an outsider, like what the like, and he's like yelling at, especially what happened with the gardener in one of the episodes where I have no idea why the hell he hung up that freaking pheasant and then let it rot. They didn't really explain why he did that, but he
I
just
think
did it.
I thought he said he did that so he could like let it air out so he can cook it, wasn't it?
Right. That was at first, but then it's like, yeah, but that's not how. It's like because it was up there for a long time. It's
Yeah,
like,
right.
At that point, it's like rotten. You're not gonna eat this.
Yeah.
So he keeps stumbling between each episode where since he doesn't understand the language and he also doesn't understand the culture, and it was evident, but it was not as evident as it was when he told no one to touch it or you will die.
Right.
Right. And then the gardener dude who he made friends with, he put it down and like, well, where's he at? He's like, well, he's dead. Like, what are you talking about?
Lost in translation. That sucks.
Right. But it's like he keeps saying stuff as an outsider. It's like you don't understand his culture like at all.
Yeah.
And like it's like the way that they're showing him aspects of it, so he's seeing all sides. Like he's seeing, and I like the fact that how they're showing, like I said before, how they're showing all the good and the bad
And the
of
bad.
it.
Yeah.
Right. It's like when Butuno,
Mm-hmm.
when he's doing like the last stand thing to protect his lord, and he's fighting like an entire army by himself. It's like, yeah, that's samurai honor, right? And when you find out about how the swords came about, that the lady who lost her kid and her husband because her husband did something stupid, he was acting within honor of his own self, but he dishonored his lord, so therefore he had to kill himself and end his line.
Right. Yeah.
Which from an outside, go ahead.
I was about to say, that really Yeah, I do like that's what I kind of like about the series too. It really shows how if you're so strictly, you know, if you so strictly follow these rules and expectations and traditions and stuff. Yeah,
Mhm.
from an outsider's perspective, it really seems like really foreign and strange. But
Yeah, I mean, like,
but you understand why they do the things that they do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, in terms of all right, so we'll discuss 5, but that was basically a not a synopsis, but a filling out of how we felt about the first 4 episodes. Like him bullshitting them into thinking that he was some kind of warrior, but him figuring out on the spot what he could actually teach them, and then having them scoff at it until he actually demonstrated, like, this how this works. He basically made a land cannon for them, and the way they set it up is you also showed that how their technology is superior to the Portuguese.
Yeah. Right.
Because the guy said was like, yeah, the Portuguese tried this and it didn't work. And then he just, you do this, do this, do this, boom. You're like, oh,
It really
oh shit.
works.
It's like this really works, which they prove at the end of the 4th episode by blowing up those dudes who came who stopped by to like, hey, what's going on over here? Which was interesting because it's like everyone is in a cold war because of the whole region thing. And which is crazy how like the dude who set all this stuff up is dead. But because of their honor system, they're abiding by the rules of this guy like who passed. So even though they're clearly got issues from them to the 3 dudes who are Christians now, then you find out that the Portuguese or their MO is to come in, and we only hearing about this because of the Englishman's viewpoint, but their viewpoint is to come in, make a couple of these people, like the people in charge, Protestants and Christians, which would then cause them to trickle down to their the people in their region. And then like because of this particular like religious beliefs, we'll slowly maneuver ourselves into this country, and then eventually we'll be in charge because they'll listen to us because we're their priest.
Right.
So I was like, okay, that sounds about how religious folks were back then, and kind of a little bit now. It's like what they're doing is not cool, but from their perspective, it is. So that was
Right.
interesting,
Yeah.
right? So like, bro, you came into somebody else's country and you basically laying the groundwork for you to take over without actually fighting a war.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's why I was saying how it was interesting how that's essentially what they did in the Americas. But while there are Christians in Japan, I think what their religion is still mostly Buddhist, right?
I think Shinto.
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 Oh, Shinto.
Shintoism.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Similar thing in China, where it's not Shinto, but it's like they still held on, even though. So I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Yeah, so it was intriguing. So but that's enough synopsis of the first, of how the story is. The 5th episode starts with the aftermath of them blowing the crap out of those guys from Ishido's scouting party.
Yeah.
So then as they're trying to figure out I'm not sure about like the uncle, whether or not he's but whose side is he trying to work, both sides or
He's
after himself?
For me, at least what I'm saying, I feel like he's trying to work both sides and just he kind of switches wherever it's most convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, you gotta give it to him. When his plans go to shit, he moves on to the next game quick.
He moves on to the next game. Yeah, that's what he does.
Right. So and it's like that just shows you how little wiggle room he has in his culture about, because he knows that if he plays one of these dudes wrong too much, he's dead. And he like knows that.
Yeah, exactly. He knows how to, just push enough the right button without getting himself killed so far.
Yeah, because these dudes could literally just kill him. He could turn
Yeah.
around and just
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah,
you
because
have
he has
dishonored me.
enemies on both sides.
Right. You turn around, it's like, you have dishonored me, and they just cut his head off.
Yeah.
And nobody would bat an eye like it was nothing. Like when the nephew killed the friggin' Christian dude in the first episode.
Yeah.
Who was it's like the dude just turn around and cut the dude's head off. Like, okay. And just left the family there crying. It's like, eh. So, all right. So they're stacking bodies as they're stacking the bits and pieces from from them blowing up. It's like, I have to be on the Lord's side, like his side, because his son is so stupid. He keeps trying to give him information on like what he should be doing, and but he's also young, so
He's a little reckless, yeah.
But that is how youth works. It's like he thinks that he deserves more than he has earned, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he's so young and his dad is so much older than him.
Right.
So it's like, bro, I've been where you're at. I can see where you're going. I've seen many young people like you get killed over foolishness. And they're all veterans. Like, all these leaders are veterans of the war that they had in Korea.
Right, yeah.
So they're like, look, man, I've seen a lot of people like you. And we was over there, y'all, you got yourself and everybody around you killed because you're stupid. So you need to, like, I understand you want to have your own crew or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's about you. You gotta. It's like, oh, that's ringing in my ear. No, but it's like, you gotta understand how the game works, and the only person you can depend on is you. Because everybody else around you has got schemes, and that's pretty freaking evident in this damn show.
Yeah.
Like, everybody is scheming except maybe the junior Maiko. It's like everybody got plots and schemes.
Yeah.
So as they're picking up the bodies, it was like all of a sudden they hear on like somebody yell, "There's an army coming!" You turn around and you see the Lord, who dipped out in the when he snuck out of the like in episode 3, snuck out, left his kid and the uncle there, and he just dipped. He went back to Edo. He showed up with an army. It's like he was upset. I don't know. I know he was upset about his son killing those dudes, but I think he's kind of took it as it's kind of inevitable kind of thing.
Yeah, he wasn't, he's kind of disappointed that he took such, dramatic action, but yeah, I think he kind of expected that, or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Or doomed to happen.
Yeah, I think he has that. I think he has the age gives wisdom. He's one of those dudes where it's like, I can see how he's like, I'm not stupid. Like, I know you trying to double time me and find whatever the best deal for you is. And I know you're young and reckless, so you're going to do something stupid. And given how you are, I know your nephew is probably going to be kind of like, but he's like, all right, well, this is going to cause them to come out of the castle. So therefore I will be able to pick them off at my leisure. So it's like, this sucks. It's probably not what he was planning on, but so like, all right, that's he is a sound mind, doesn't really panic.
Right, yeah.
Now, then you get all the drama between Mariko and her husband, who showed up with who everyone thought was dead. Now he's just showed up, and we get to find out where the animosity between him and her is. And this also is another insight into their culture, where he clearly does not like her.
Yeah.
But he somehow managed to. It's like, was she? Like, did she get pregnant before all this stuff that she told happened?
Yeah, right? Isn't the kid like how old now?
Yeah. So how?
Yeah.
I don't know. He he was a teenager or
Yeah.
like preteen, like right around there.
Like preteen.
So 12. So and how long ago? Like she said, her dad was killed 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So when you find out that as the Englishman and the husband is getting having a pissing contest because nobody wants to eat his terrible food.
Rabbit stew.
Right. In which the it's like Mariko and his consort kind of knew that was happening, so they ate first. Said, we got to eat now because who like all this testosterone in the house, and like the consort is like looking at like, I think there's a pretty good chance you boinked his ass yesterday. so I like when he showed up, I was like, ooh, I hope she ain't pregnant. Because it's like okay. So then the thing that again, just the contrast between their cultures is crazy. How she accepts all of this, and even as far as having her drunk off his ass husband shoot a bow and take a bow and an arrow and shoot it at her.
Yeah.
Right? And she just it just like barely almost brushes her freaking nose, and it's like so the Englishman like, what the like, you people are crazy.
Right.
From him, just like, dude. And then like you find the story out, and he's like, look, you ain't got to tell me shit, man. Just he don't know what the hell you saying, so just pretend that you're telling me like your life thing. And when he said that, it's like your dad did something dishonorable, but it was honorable at the same time. And the way your culture is set up, even though it was an honorable thing that he did, because it was dishonorable, he had to kill himself, the sisters, like kid, like his whole family.
Yeah, that was tough. When she
Right.
was explaining that.
Yeah. So like so I'm like with the Englishman, I'm like, dude, y'all, something wrong with y'all. It's like, what the fuck? Like, dude. But again, it's from their own perspective. So that's how they live. So they have no idea if this is bad or good or like whatever. It's like, it is what it is. But still, it's like, oof. Then there's an altercation in the house later on. The husband hits Mariko, and then he goes outside. There's another one is about to happen. Like the Englishman forces himself into the room and finds out, goes outside to confront the husband. The husband turns around and said it's a sake, and the dude is like, hey, what the fuck are you like? No, it ain't. No, ain't no damn sake. Y'all got major issues. Y'all should not be together at all because of your major issues. And then he's like, he bows before him. So it's like the husband doesn't want to be in this situation at all either, which is probably why he tried to sacrifice his damn self to fight off the thing, because then that would actually relieve him of the burden of being in this crazy situation he finds himself in, where he does not like his wife anymore, but he has to stay married to her because that's how their society is.
Right.
So that adds. Hey. So that adds further insight into like decisions that took place in the beginning. So which is a really good writing element.
Mm-hmm.
So as all that happens, you saw how it cut back to the hole in the door and where the arrows actually landed, and both of them hit the same spot.
Yeah.
So he wasn't drunk.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can't
That's
do
true.
that and be drunk off your ass. So it's like what you said was bullshit. So all right. So then we cut to they're showing off the firearms or like whatever. So he's talking to the Lord, and then there's a big ass freaking earthquake. So there's a big earthquake happens. The Lord falls off a cliff, and the Englishman goes down there and saves him. It's like digs his ass up. While everybody's just standing around, it's like I don't know what to do. All the people who are used to earthquakes is standing while their Lord just falls off a cliff. And the Englishman who has never experienced this like really in his life is the only one who goes after the guy and saves his life.
He has the wherewithal.
Right. Even his son is standing like, what do we do? I'm like, dude, run your ass down there and save your damn father and shit. So they dig him up. He loses his swords, his samurai swords, the katana, and I forgot what you call the little one, but they are very important. Even though he doesn't know how important they are, he gives him the swords that his consort gave to him. So it's like he basically gives him his honor back, because I think it's tied into his honor. Like if you lose your swords, you lose part of your honor, I think.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
I think it's like I saw this in something, so it was a while ago. So I think by him giving him his swords, he gives him his honor back too. But as they're sitting there, and he's the Lord is kind of sitting there recovering, they look over the friggin' cliff, and the rest of the cliff just ran down the hill and wiped out the army. So his huge army just got wiped out. So when that happened, I'm like, dude, God don't like you. Like, you kicked off this whole thing, and it's like, you kind of need these people, and they just got wiped out by an earthquake. So all right. The uncle is looking for a spy. All right. And the Lord and his actual spy had a conversation earlier in the episode where he's like, you need to find so the spy was like, look, they're gonna find me out. He said, well, you just need to go find another person to put the blame on. So that's why I said, like, all this honor stuff, they're constantly doing dishonorable shit in the name of honor. And it's like they pick and choose when it's actually going to be life-threatening dishonor. Like, you're telling the dude to lie. Not only are you telling him to lie, continue lying, you're asking him to set up some other person so that he can continue lying to your subordinate who you think is lying to you. So it's like a crazy thing. Harry Potter. Ricky just asked if they
Oh, jeez.
That's the first thing I said when I saw it.
Quite possibly.
All right. So to wrap this up. So this what got me thinking. So later on, when the uncle is going through this little thing because he's pissed that his nephew hasn't found the damn spy yet. It's like this is just like, this is the spy, whatever. So the actual spy was like, well, this is a spying for your for the Lord. and he's like, "Well, whose house is this?" And he says, like, again, I'm not trying to say his name because I will butcher it, but it's the gardener. So it's like,
Yujayo or something like that.
right. So it's like, so at that point, I'm thinking, did they kill the gardener in order to set him up, or did they just using it as a
That's
convenience?
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because I'm like, man, these people are they're honorably dishonorable, honorably. So it's like, I'm like, man, it's crazy, but it is the guy. I think the guy who's playing the Lord. He wanted to do this because he wanted to make sure that the Japanese culture was represented correctly.
That's good.
Right. So it's like, in terms of honor, yeah, I can see, given what I understand about Japanese culture, yeah, everything seems to be pretty legit, because just like how everybody else is scheming, it's like you can wrap it up into whatever kind of way that you want. Like, y'all all still scheming, and especially how the show ends. How we go back to Osaka, the I guess queen mother, but that she's not a queen mother. But I'm not exactly sure what her status is in terms of how much power she has. But apparently, how it ends, it must be a lot, because when Ishido goes to talk to her, she basically says, like, look, I'm getting tired of all these shenanigans and all this other stuff. And because I'm a little pissed off that he was trying to kidnap my ass. So I'm gonna take control of the regions, and we're gonna pop some shit off. Right? That's basically
Right.
that's basically in a nutshell. So then I'm like, oh shit. She a little pissed. Man, she was cute though. But oh, she was too. Not as cute as Mariko, but so as since we are finished talking about this particular episode, you know what we can do, and I just saw it. Let me go back one little bit. There actually is a shirt. All right.
The time has come for us to turn towards Toranaga as an ally.
Tuesday.
己の敵の正体が分かっておらぬのじゃ。女は女の苦しみを見過ごせぬもの。
生贄となった者たちの命、死を無駄にはせぬぞ。
FX's Shogun. All new. Tuesdays. Stream on Hulu.
So I can't wait for this.
Looks good.
Oh yeah, this is now. I told you that the opening was very Game of Thronesy.
Yes, I got those vibes too.
Yeah, so like in the back of my head, I'm dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I see what you meant when I watched it.
Yeah, like, oh, so somebody like Game of Thrones. All right, so we're gonna finish this up. If you give a rating to all 5 episodes, what would you grade it?
Gosh, an A.
Okay. Yeah, me too. It's nice to have an actual show that I like the Bad Batch, but I didn't like it nearly as much as I like this.
There you go. Yeah.
But that probably has more to do with what it's attached to, and it's not attached to anything.
Right.
So I'm so used to bad stuff that getting something that is actually good is amazing. So, all right. We got one the next episode. Oh. Ricky likes it.
He knows what's good.
Oh, dude. So, all right. We're gonna wrap this up. Elton, any final thoughts about any of the stuff that we talked about today?
Hopefully video games can recover. And watch
Look.
Shogun. Highly recommend.
I don't know about the video game part, but my advice to them is what I said before. Start your own little studio. We're the age of the giant mega corporation kind of stuff for like entertainment. I think that is coming to an end. The way technology is going, if you have actual talent, you'll be able to do this on your own. And I think that's what's going to happen. But other than that, yes, go watch Shogun because it's great. Can't wait for House of Dagon. So that has a lot to live up to now, because we will like Shogun should be over by the time that starts.
Right.
So it's like we will have like an entire season of Shogun, and it better not suck. And it sucks so bad. That's how my thought process goes with so much stuff. But it is what it is. So I would like to thank anyone who checks this out later. Please like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And I'm Vaughn B, and this is the Noob Avenger.
Hey.
And we are out.